It's a national category that isn't a Minnesota category, so I mix like drama, poetry, articles, and everything like that to create an argument in the form of an interpretation piece. This particular one is about white feminism, so I hope you enjoy it. Make no mistake, I love Taylor Swift. I Knew You Were Trouble is one of my favorite shower songs. But dang, is she ever problematic? In December of last year, Gloria Steinem spoke about the #MeToo movement and the importance of defining sexual harassment. The conversation turned to the importance of Black women in building that current movement.
Every day is a struggle for me. I fight every day to include myself in places, things they say are made for all. Being Black is not a subject that can be taught. Even if I add it to the school curriculum, you will never understand it or beat it.
Many are familiar with Tarana Burke, who started the Me Too movement a decade ago. Far less people know that key legislation of barring sexual harassment in the workplace came as a direct result of lawsuits Black women filed. Black women always been more likely to be feminist than white women. Black women and women of color have actively fought for the rights and livelihoods of women for more than 2 centuries. But their stories, our stories, and contributions are often sidelined in the mainstream narrative of the feminist movement. And that's a problem. With its origins in the late 18th century, feminism, also known as the women's rights movement, has had countless cultural and social impacts on the lives of women both here and abroad. However, one thing has hardly changed since the movement's inception. It's not accessible to people who look like me. As Slate magazine argues on October 17, 2017, the feminist movement in the United States would be more appropriately called the white feminist movement. With the history of feminism being taught in our schools focusing exclusively on white, cisgender women like Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton, to the way this erasure continues today in movements like Me Too, conveniently and consistently leaving out the contributions of queer women and women of color, we have turned this movement into one that includes some women, but leaves so many others out. It's time we tear down these barriers in our system of feminism and create a new intersectional movement that fights for the equality not just among the sexes, but among the races, gender identities, religions, and more. Not as separate movements, but as one. Through the poetry, To the Girl Who Said Teach Me How to Be Black by A. Martin, 1930 by Hilary B., Untitled by Nonia Remar, The Dozens by Rachel Wendy, the articles, 5 Ways Taylor Swift Exemplifies White Feminism and Why That's a Problem, by Melissa Ava Baker. Emma Watson admits she was a white feminist, and this is why her distinction was important, by Katie Stowe, Why Intersectionality Can't Wait by Kimberly Crenshaw, The Imperative of Intersectional Feminism by Emily Aries, Are Black Women Invisible by Melissa Berkeley, the slam poem All White Feminists Need to Hear by Gillian Christ was published by the Huffington Post. These Are the Women of Color Who Fought Both Sexism and the Racism of White Feminists by Anne Brannigan, and Hey Siri, Who is Smart Alex by Shaker Kazal. The Darker Side of Feminism, a program. Because as a Black, bisexual, young woman, I deserve a feminism that embraces all of me. White feminism. What's good? As more Americans embrace intersectional feminism and its emphasis on inclusion, it's important to remember that intersectional feminism has always been practiced by Black women and women of color. White feminism is about as feminist as Dr. Pepper is a medical doctor. 55 years ago, Rosa Parks refused to give up a bus seat to a white man. In doing so, provided a spark that set off the civil rights movement. Her actions that day were undeniably brave, but are even more impressive in wake of recent research suggesting that Black women are invisible. Nah, I don't mean invisible in a superhero kind of way. I mean invisible in a socio-cultural way. That is, black women are more likely than any other racial groups to go unnoticed or unheard. Oh yes, Space and I can be a feminist too. That is, as long as I don't ask any questions. Now, for those of you who may not be aware, white feminism is not a pejorative term going to describe all feminists who happen to be white. Rather, white feminism refers to the practicing of a feminism that assumes that all white, cis, straight, able-bodied, thin, middle to upper-class women as the default, leading to a cookie-cutter feminism for those who can only possibly be intended for. White women, like everything that's yours is going to be mine for the using. Like, do we even know what we were doing here? Like, go on, tell them your story. You'll see how it shines like fresh blood for the cameras. There are going to be a lot of cameras. So not only do black women have to overcome the disadvantage of being a member of two underrepresented groups, they also have to deal with another form of discrimination, invisibility. To stand out and voice their opinions, black women have to work even harder than their fellow black men or white women counterparts. In light of this, I am even more in awe of the strength and power of women like Oprah Winfrey, Michelle Obama, Condoleezza Rice, Maya Angelou, and of course, Rosa Parks. When I heard myself being called a white feminist, I didn't understand. Hey Siri, they said I can be a feminist too. After all, they're gonna need someone at the meeting. Who knows how to tighten up all those white girl dreadlocks? Intersectionality has been the banner under which many demands of inclusion have been made. But a term can do no more than those who use it have the power to demand. They said I can help. Must be good for something. Must be some big tooth benefactor that would just eat me up. Articulate black girls such as myself, just the right amount of mad. They didn't mean it like that. No need to get upset. We're all in this together. All in this together? All right. They put me on the front lines. Give me your blackest, most brackish weather. This thick skin is just waiting to be good for something. Oh, yes, please give me a nice big sign that says me too. Or maybe me too. If that sounds better. You know, listen, I can be a feminist just as long as I don't talk about this black girl body, about an inheritance so great that no one body can apologize it away, as long as I don't remind anyone where so many of the ideas for this movement came from anyway. No one likes to know it all. And surely, no one has yet forgotten how sweetly or how happily dark bodies take to make kindling. And they said I can help. They said I could be the best kind of help. White feminism swears she will unlock the door to equality and let us all in if we just hoist her through this window on our backs. I will not sit back. For this reason, a helpful starting point for getting reacquainted with centuries of women of color making this country a safer, more equitable place for everyone. Sojourner Truth, Lucy Parsons, Anna Cooper, Ida B. Wells, Louisa Moreno, Maida Kemp, Fannie Lou Hamer, Shirley Chisholm, Marsha P. Johnson, Angela Davis, Winona LaDuke, Diane Nash. The efforts of these women to fight management abuses and racial and sexual abuse have bettered the lives of an uncountable number of men. Feminism needs to stop excluding, disregarding those affected most. It's a hazard to progress. So pull up a chair. It's time we serve so much more.